Right then, welcome to the podcast, Ryan's podcast, number 50. Bleh. It's going to be a short and sweet one today, which it is what it is, because being fully transparent, which, I always do on this podcast, I've started doing like a Pal World playthrough series. Now, we're currently in November of 2024, and obviously I know these podcasts, I've probably said it right already in these episodes, but yeah, these episodes will start coming out in about March next year. But in current time, when I'm filming this, I'm recording it, I've not long started this Power World series. And it's like, basic position I'm in right now is I'm stressing about time, hence why it might be a short one. But I'm hoping I could talk enough to get myself in the headspace to do the nice Power World gameplay video, which I am enjoying doing. And this is kind of a thing where I don't really talk about this often on the podcast because it's never big enough, like in a hindsight point of view, but I'm in it right now, so it's just real. So like, basically I'm going to moan about my wife a little bit, which I never do in the podcast. But it is what it is. It's not even about my wife, it's just people in it. Like I'm not... So we've been out this morning, which was nice walk and stuff. And I was just in a lovely headspace for getting in here. I was thinking about doing a podcast as well anyway, because I thought, it's been a while since I've done one. It'd be good to, as I've said in the others, it's good just to talk things out generally that are bothering you, things that are stressing you and whatnot. But I was in a good headspace, right? I was like, yeah, I might do a podcast, and I was looking forward to playing my Power World and doing another episode on it. I was good. And there's this thing the wife's been on about. Look, this is not serious at all, but it's just how it gets me. Like we often say I'm the woman in the relationship because I get my feelings hurt, man. I get my feelings hurt. So she wants to move the bedroom around, and it's like we've lived here long enough. Like it's been like 10 odd years together, and we found the way we had the room done. That was kind of the most optimum. But I worry about her because she's got a wrist fused and stuff, and like I just don't want her to fucking hurt herself in that respect. Because she mentioned this to me yesterday. But at the time, I was doing a lot in the garden. I'd been fully on with the kids all morning because she woke up not very good yesterday, so I wanted to give her some space. So, like, I was dealing with the kids all morning. Like, I was like constantly getting out of bed and stuff. I'm sidetracking slightly, but it does have context. So anyway, I popped in the room, she started moving stuff around, and I'm just kind of like, shall I measure that just to see how that's going to fit there? And her perspective is, I just want to move shit around because she says, like, she can't visualise things like I can. She went, I want to move it, see that it doesn't fit, and then if I have to, I'll put it back. And I was 50-50 in my head. I did have a voice like, right, just let her move the stuff, man. It's fine. Like I said, worst case, she moves it back. But I had that one bit clinging to me. I was like, I just want to measure the bed to see what's going to happen with this chest of drawers at the end of it, right? And I was just on about that. And then the wife brought up the day before, when she'd first mentioned it. And she was like, but like, I just want to do this on my own because yesterday when you were measuring, like I'd done it off the wall instead of in front of the radiator, I've got to take that into consideration, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, but yesterday, like I've already explained to you, like I was dealing with the kids, I was trying to do a lot in the garden and everything else. And then she was all like, but can you just go? She was like, I was happy in my own little bubble doing this, but you've pissed me off now, bringing up the kids and everything else. And I thought, but I was just defending the thing that she'd said about how, see how just remedial this is, honestly, talking it out loud, even right now I'm 50-50 between how much this is bothering me and how much of it's just fucking daft. But this happens when you live together and you're in a relationship. These little things where in the moment it feels like a lot. But yeah, so she'd said, but yesterday when you were trying to measure up, basically I weren't taking things into account, so I weren't measuring properly. I was just rushing it, right? So obviously I wanted to defend myself there, but I was very distracted because, like I say, so we're in the bed in the morning and we were trying to watch Prison Breaks. We're rewatching that at the minute. And I lost count of how many times I got out of bed to go downstairs to try and rewrite the kids because, like, my youngest was upset because his controller weren't working, or like, his brother touched him or fucking hit him or whatever. Like, I was really patient and calm all morning, but in my head, I'm doing it for the wife so she can chill. And then even when we did all get up, I got downstairs, I made sure the kids all had breakfast and I got them all outside while I did the garden stuff, and they played with the rugby balls and the footballs and everything else. In between, I had to keep going up to them, refereeing because, like, they're arguing over one football when we've got like 5, just kid stuff. But I kept on top of all of it to make sure she could have the most stress-free morning possible. So then when she's coming to ask me to do something, I'm in the middle of all that, and I'm like, oh, you're on about moving the room around now. Like I'm in the middle of trying to like climb up on top of the gym and get all the leaves off the roof, and constantly getting down because the kids are fucking about and arguing and everything. So yeah, so when she was like, oh, but yesterday, like, you weren't even measuring properly. I'm like, well, yeah, there's a fucking good reason for it, love. I was fucking distracted because I was trying to give you a nice chilled morning. But then there's a side of it, you see, where as soon as she said she was pissed off and it had ruined her mood, I fucking love my wife, like, to the point of failure. So as soon as she said, like, she was pissed off, I'm like, I've ruined that for her. She was happy in her own bubble, just moving the furniture around and whatnot, and I've pissed her off. So then I'm like, so I weren't angry after all this. I weren't like, fuck you, bitch. Meh. I was down. Like I say, I went from being in that point where I'm like, I've just got this energy to like record my videos and be all like, not, I don't want to say it like I'm being presentary, like I can put on a voice like, oh, hey, hi everyone today, blah. Like, that's never been me anyway, but I was in the right headspace and the kind of feeling of energy levels to just be authentic and happy playing, because the last Powerwood video done, I felt quite lethargic and I kept saying it in the video, and I'm like, I don't want to do that again. So yeah, I just felt low, really fucking low. My energy had gone because I'm like, I fucking upset my wife now. Like, if I'm coming, it kind of links into my PTSD and shit, doesn't it? Because I'm like, if I'm going to leave, it's harder when it's the wife and the kids. Again, I've done a Powerwood video the weekend, and that's when I felt all shitty and whatnot because the wife and kids were in the house. And I'm like, I'm fucking leaving them to come play a game for a video for YouTube. I'm like, I'm a bad husband and parent sort of thing. Like, that was hard to get through. But we spoke about it and whatnot. I'm sidetracking slightly. But I think it's in that same vein where I'm like, to come out here, I wanted to know the wife's in the house, she's happy, we've spent good time together this morning, so I've not like neglected like being with her or anything. Because my head's always like, oh, we're going to die tomorrow or something. You know what I mean? It's always almost like every day. Not like every day's your last day, but it's like the potentiality of it. So because she wanted to go for a walk, to go to the gym and have a look at it and whatnot, at the membership stuff, I was like, I want to come with you, that'd be a nice walk and whatnot. I can see it with you and everything. That, like, I like doing that with my wife. So yeah, I was like, I've done that. And then she was all right. And then I'd come out and it'd be fine. But because I'd fucked up her headspace, apparently me, I'm like, I just felt really low and down. I'm like, you had to fucking ruin it, right? Like, she was happy and she was fine and it'd have been great, but it's my fault. But then the other voice comes in, it's like, it ain't your fucking fault, right? Like, you barely said anything. Like, all I was trying to say was, when she was questioning how I was measuring up and everything the day before, all I was trying to say was, I think it's because the fact her wording was like, oh, but you've pissed me off now, I was in my own little bubble and everything, but you had to bring the kids up and everything else. So obviously I'm like, well, that was extreme because I only mentioned the kids because that was the genuine reason why I was distracted the day before when measuring, right? Honestly, you're listening to this and you're like, this is so fucking remedial. But it's like I say, in the moment, and even now it's still affecting me now, but in the moment I was just sat on the stairs, man. I didn't know where to go, what to do. It just took my energy, gone. I'm like, fuck do I do? And at the same time, we're trying to be like when we were on the walk, because she's getting some counselling now, and her counsellor said to try and go for like 2 walks a week. And I didn't know this, but she was on about how unfit she's got because of just being in the house all the time, right? So like, I know the walk for her was hard. Like, there was a couple of times we stopped, she's like, oh, like, I'm fucking knackered now. And she's even worrying about fully walking there and being like, oh, I can't even drive home after, like, I'm going to have to walk back. So that was hard for her. And she'd already started moving all the room round and everything else. So no doubt that was affecting her. And it's lady time of the month sort of thing. That's the politest way I can say it. So there's that to factor in, which I always struggle with in general. Because like the ego comes into it a bit, then it like I say, like, I didn't do fuck all wrong. Fuck you. Like, I even tried talking to her a bit and I was like, if you'd barely done anything and I said, oh, you pissed me off now, I mean, you wouldn't give a fuck, would you? Like, you'd be like, oh, sounds like a you problem. But I'm just so fucking soft on my wife sort of thing in regards to that. Like, the bigger feeling is I feel bad that I've taken that away from her. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at. And then now I'm like stressed about time because I like to get a good hour's gameplay footage in for me Powerwood gameplay. But I've got like an assembly thing for my eldest son at school. I think it's at 2:30. Then you've got allowed time to walk up to the school. So that's basically 2-ish. It's 12:58 now. So really, I want to do Power World from 1 till 2, which is why I say this might be a short podcast. Because, yeah. Blah. Oh, it's a whole thing, isn't it? But like I say, I never mention these things because there's always plenty of time by the time I podcast between these little stuff. So like, as soon as there'll be a moment later, she'll be like, I'm sorry about earlier, being a bit snappy and shit. And as soon as she says that, I'll be like, oh, it's fine. It'll just go, it'll wash away completely. If she just goes, oh, sorry for saying that, like, I didn't need to say that. I was just a bit, doing stuff at the time and everything. Like, I'm understanding enough to be like, that's fine, I get it. But that little bit of ego in me needs that apology to fully let it go of that bit. Because I'm making myself feel the pain of like, so she's not there going like, oh, you fucked up my day and everything else. She literally went, oh, you've pissed me off now. Like, you've ruined, like I was having a nice flow. I've been back up, by the way, since and helped to move half the room round to the heavy stuff and whatnot. And, we're talking, it's fine. But like, it's really weird. Like, I want the apology from my wife for that bit, for the punishment I've done to myself from her saying it. Like I say, it's not that she's gone off at me. I've gone off at myself in my head for her saying she's pissed off and me ruining her mood. But I want her to apologise, so then I could be like, to that voice, I'd be like, see? Like, she understands, like, she didn't need to say that. Like, you didn't ruin it. She ruined it for herself. In a way. It's fucked up, ain't it? Overall, as always, it's a difficult time at the minute. Rent's been put up by like £300 a month, which I get 50-50 about a lot of things. With that, I can't complain because the landlord is like, he's a family friend. He's more of a dad than my dad is, and like he's been giving us like a really fair rate rent for like the 10 years we've been here. Like, even with the rise, we're not paying anything near like typical standard prices. But it's kind of irrelevant, isn't it? Because we've been used to paying that amount, so £300 on top of it is still £300 more. And because we're on like universal credit sort of thing, it's like, man, we got no money. Like, I was on the phone pretty much most of the walk to the gym with the wife and the whole entirety of the walk back. I was just on the phone with Virgin Media trying to get them to give me a 7-day extension on the internet bill. Sky's been cancelled because it's like, I don't know if that's like 160 quid for the Sky bill. I don't know if that's because maybe I missed a month before and that's doubled it. But it's like, that's always the first thing that those you can't kind of get like an extension on. It's like, well, you pay it or they cut it off, which is fair enough. Like, I get that. I ain't going to moan about it. I ain't fucking paid it. If you're going to give me an extension, you don't have to. It's just nice when they do. But to be fair, we don't watch that much on Sky as a family. Most of it's like Netflix and Disney and everything. But it's just that this is real first world shit I'm moaning about today. But it's just that the apps like Disney and Netflix and shit work nicer and faster through the Skybox. But yeah, so that's all been cut off at the minute. But internet's like, well, I need that for this, and general like other fucking things. Keeping the kids entertained. So yeah, that's not ideal. That the whole fucking claim thing, I'm so begging by the time these podcasts actually come out, it's all done and dusted. Kind of got options to work with. Because yeah, like, I thought it was at the point, it's been like 7 years since this fucking crash. Which is just, that's such a domino effect, man. Like, I try not to, but I'll often waste time just kind of thinking, man, what the fuck would our lives be like if that day hadn't happened? Because it was quite early on in the relationship for me and the wife. Like, we've had most of our relationship post-crash. I think we've been together like 3 years when the crash happened. And we had my 2 boys at the time. They were like 1 and 2. But it's like, a family's full of chefs, right? And she's a trained chef and everything. But a real thing is like baking and sugarcraft. And she was making cakes. Like, I was just going to say I might put some pictures over the podcast, but I'll see. If not, just trust me when I say, like, lovely sugarcraft, like the decorator on top of the cakes. And she was like doing it for herself, like a small business from home, but it was really low. But we were like gearing up the end of that year, and we're like, right, after Christmas and everything, we're going to get you registered properly as self-employed and everything, because she was starting to earn like good money from it. Like, she was getting busier. And like we used to go to the cake shows at like the NEC in Birmingham, and and I'd be like, "You're gonna have a stand here one day," and everything. And it was like there's a whole fucking thing, but that's basically completely fucking gone. And that's one of the things my wife struggles most with is a lack of purpose, because she always used to go and work with her mum when she was a kid in the kitchens, and like when I met her, she worked in the kitchen. That's just her whole fucking thing. But she can't keep up in any kind of commercial baking, cooking, or anything. So it's just like when you lose that, when that's what it's fucked her up. Anyway, so we kind of got towards the end of the claim, and I was under the understanding where, like, she's had a whole bunch of medical reports done over the years because of her operations and everything. But it got to the point where the last ones were like 3 years old, so they were a bit irrelevant. They needed like newer ones. So we'd done them. Our solicitor was trying to get one of the medical experts to clarify what he meant on one of his reports. So there was that I was waiting for. And she'd even said in an email like she can't fully value the claim until that's done. And then the other thing that to be done was our witness statements, which took a while because it was like they'd write it all out. We had like a big phone conference thing. Her like secretary guy wrote it all out, the witness statement, which took probably like a month odd. But it was like, send it to us, we read through it, amend it, send it back to them, and it was like back and forth like that, making the amendments on these witness statements. And then we just got them done, sent in, signed, finished. And it was like, there's nothing else for us to do. Like we can't. All the reports are done. She's just trying to get that clarification, that one like thing he said. We've done the witness statements, are all done. Everything's done, dusted, ticked off. We've just got to sit back and wait now. And then we got a letter saying, now the defendants want you to go and see, all the medical experts of theirs for themselves. I know at the time it proper stressed the wife out. But like nicely and hardly in a way, like we went and done all of them last week. We went to see like a skin camouflage expert, the orthopedic surgeon, and the psychiatrist guy. And I went with her to all of them as well. So it was a heavy week because it was just constantly talking about the crash and how it's affected our lives and everything else, and how she's recovering and the movement she's got, because she had to have a full wrist fusion, if you haven't followed me podcast enough to know. So it was like, so now, yeah, I'm just like, I'm fucking saying this. So now again, it's at the point where at least like, well, we've done all their reports now. They're done. But they could take 6 to 8 weeks for the reports to be done for them to get them. And then they're going to have to send them to us and blah, blah, blah. So we're in the start of November. I think I already said this. 11th of November. So let's say that's into January. See, I'm hoping by fucking March, April time, it's done. And honestly, I don't even mean done like, oh yeah, we've got the payout and we've got a big lump of money. Woohoo. Obviously, that'd be nice. I can't fucking lie. But honestly, just, it feels like I keep saying, like, we're in limbo. Like, she's like that with, she ain't working. I'm basically not fucking working. Because I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what, I want to do this. I want to do my content. I want to do my podcast. I want to do my YouTube channel. Like, I know what I want to fucking do. And I think I spoke about this on here before. But if I'm going to make that work, I need to make it work in a way of like, I don't feel like I'm taking money from people. You know what I mean? I hope I'm giving value. This is the best way of me doing this podcast. There's different ways of doing it. Like someone commented on one of my YouTube videos the other day about, like you ain't got the subscribers. I'm a YouTube expert. I can help you. But I'm like, I know what you're going to say. You're going to tell me to do clickbaity titles. You're going to tell me to do like Q&A question, not tip videos, where it's all stick around to the end of the video to get that last tip because you're really going to want to fucking see it. You know what I mean? And shit like that. I'm like, I don't want to do YouTube the conventional way. I want my personal channel, which this is now, and I'm just making videos about what I love and what I enjoy. Right? But I have got that voice inside me where it's like, you don't deserve to earn any money doing it just because you enjoy it. You know what I mean? I've got too much of like when we saw the orthopedic surgeon, and he was talking to her, and he was like, well, what job you got now? And she's like, well, I ain't, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, if you've got any better jobs you can do. I'm like, fuck off. Nicely, she did say, no, I'm working on myself at the minute. I'm trying to get my counselling sorted. I want to get healthy and everything. Like, she wants to get healthy body and mind sort of thing. And then see. But like the way I come to understand it now, more so, is how do we make money? How do you make your money? How do you make your income? Not what job do you have? I feel like that's a really old style way of fucking thinking, and I hated it when he said it. He was like, what job you got? And he's like, well, have you got any other jobs you can do? I'm like, fuck off, old fucking school teacher. Like, do one. Like, whatever thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to have a job. Like, when I do my electrics, I'll go and do jobs, but I don't see that as my job. I see the way I make money is I go fixing electrics for people. Like, they're the jobs that I do, but I don't see that as like a whole job identity. I just hate that feeling. But yeah, it's like, because I want to do the same. I still want proper counselling again. Like, this is good and this is helpful for me to just waffle about shit in my head, right? But proper counselling would be better because, you know, it might help me talk through some of these things. Like with the wife, where I'm like too much like, oh no, you've pissed her off. Like, I'm a dick. But really, I should just let that roll off my shoulder and be like, I didn't really do anything. Not to the extreme of being like, well, fuck you, bitch. But to the extent of like, I know I didn't really do anything. I don't feel like I did. So I should just be okay with that. But then not feel the guilt that I've upset my wife in such a small thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I just want this fucking... The main thing is just, I won't have to think of like solicitors and any of them I claim at the minute. It's my wife's. But it feels more like it's the claim and not the crash. And it's just going to be such a fucking weight and fog gone when it's like, that's all done now. And yes, we'll have a chunk of money in the bank and we can go, we've got options now. Like, it can just sit there for 6 months while we just smash it out of the gym, focus on like diet and stuff. Well, I mean, there's nothing stopping us doing it now, but when you've just got these distractions and like with this videoing, I could do it later when the kids are home, but I'm not going to, because I've got the fucking kids. My wife just sent me a photo. Is it going to be of the room? The light. You want this in studio or nah? Yeah, sorry guys. I was going to say can do. To wife. But yeah, so it's just, I keep saying but yeah, sorry. It's not the most fluent of podcasts today. But it is what it is. I might just call it, I don't know. I was hoping I could talk enough that I'll be happy to jump on and play, which I might do. It might be just nice cathartic now to just play the game, enjoy it for an hour. Just about. It's 1:10. Just cutting it close. I'd rather... I could still stop at 2. I ain't got to do a full side hour on the fucking game, have I? Right? Calm your fucking self. Yes. Fuck me. I'm a right ball of mess today. Like I said, though, as soon as like the missus just says anything along the lines of, oh yeah. I mean, even if she didn't say so, I'll probably be fine. A couple of hours once I've been with the kids and we've been doing all that, I'll just forget about it. Because it's not that fucking important. She hasn't proper done me wrong. You know, she ain't fucking cheated on me or something, or like, really, it's all circumstantial in the moment, just stupid fucking emotions from people, innit? Like, her stupid emotions of like, why did that need to piss her off? It didn't, that was fucking daft. Why did I need to let myself feel fucking hurt from her saying she felt hurt? That's just fucking daft. It's all just fucking stupid. Like, if I had loads of pieces of paper and I was trying to draw a picture and I drew the shitty one, and but, oh, I need to start again, I'd chuck it in the fucking bin and start another piece of paper. I wouldn't sit there staring and going, oh no, like I've done this wrong and I could have done it better and I didn't need to draw it like that. But you just go, fuck it. Yes. Well, in this short and sweet podcast, I hope you found something relatable. Fuck me. Oh, such a cunt. Oh, I'm swearing too much in this podcast. But I want this podcast to be like solely authentic. Like, I try not to swear as much on me and me pal world content. With the codcast, man. With the podcast, man, it is. It's just what it is, man. It's just me. I do like my knee. I see it in some funny ways. Exercise-wise, I will quickly mention I have been keeping on my strength training, and I'm trying to get back onto skating a bit more as well. I done my first drop-in the other day, which I was really proud. I've done it on a quarter pipe in one of the town skate parks. I haven't done it on my own half pipe yet in the garden. But I've done it, just the feeling you get after that, like just the energy, it's just great. So I'll do that more often. I'm sticking to my strength training. I just want to feed the dog. I'm doing my weighted pull-ups again and my push-ups and stuff, and I'm feeling good with that. I don't do a big one. I just do like 10 minutes, but I'm sticking to that pretty much every day and doing that. I'm managing to stick to my stretches mostly every day, because the thing that I did really notice was with the town skate park, it's like an underpass, like one the local skaters kind of made themselves. But you get dickhead kids coming and like making a mess of it. So I swept the whole fucking thing when I went the other day. And the next day my back was fucked, man. And it just made me think, like, I've struggled with my back for years, but it made me think of something that like a physio said years ago when I first went about my back. And like, I can't touch my toes, you know, when you bend over and try and touch your toes. I can't, and my hands just about go past my knees. So basically, like my hamstrings, my legs are really tight. And I remember him saying like that's gonna have a big factor when you're bending for your back. And it pissed me off when I remembered it that day when my back was hurting from all the sweep. And I'm like, if I'd have just stretched every day since then, I'd probably be able to get my fucking elbows to my feet by now. So I'm really trying to stick to this stretching because I think it will really help my back for silly stuff like that. But I'm not doing any cardio. I need to do that. I need to get back on that routine of either going for a run or just banging out some burpees, just doing something like a little something every day because I've really just fell off that completely. And I've cleaned out the cold pool because I'm going to fill that back up. So there's things I'm getting in place. But the next podcast I do, I want to be talking about how I started doing, I don't know, 10 burpees and that killed me, but now I'm doing 50 or whatever, and with the cold pool. Goals. So yeah, cheers for checking out the podcast. Check out the channel. There's some lighter stuff in here. I've got my Power World videos, I've got my Power World tip videos, I've got my RC car videos, I've got all the other podcasts. If you've just fell onto this one, there's a whole year's worth of workout vlogs in my garden, morning workout stuff, which I tried to do to show you can have like young kids and everything and still get up in the morning, do a fucking workout. There's a lot. You won't find another channel like it. And I do all the videos on this channel because I enjoy doing those things that I do, not because I'm trying to jump on every niche and like make it work. It's just stuff I like to think of this as it's a YouTube channel, like a TV channel, and I have different series of shows on it. That's the way I want it to be perceived. So yeah, have a look around the channel. You might find something else that you like. But yeah, I love you and leave you, and I'll catch you in the next one.